Um, so good afternoon. This will be a very short video in which I want to elaborate on just one point with, with regards to the what I call the Black Knight phenomenon, historical phenomenon. Now this is discussed in mostly what I call the Bicycle 201 saga. So I don't see it point to repeat everything because it was already much already have been said about it. But yes, I mean one thing should be should be very should be clarified. Even though by the way, some people already understood it. I mean from the comment I understand that some people, even those that did not listen to the old videos, figured it out by themselves. And yes, I mean this could be figured out. But I'll tell you how. What I tell you is just not by figuring out, but discovering it, and never mind now exactly how. It's not to the question of how is not that important right now. So just say, again, listen to the old videos. I do understand that some people that are new to this channel, find the phenomenon, even though it's historical, it's no longer it's not how it's not how things are. It's not in effect since the 1980s. But it should be said that to my estimation, maybe I'm wrong, but to my estimation, most of the titans of this world of Earth arrived to Earth by these people. By during these years, 1940s until the 1970s, and by these people. So it's something that is it's relevant. It's historical thing that is relevant to many of my listeners, I guess. So it's important to say the following: these people were considered cruel and evil, and a person that I consider my predecessor, one of the things that he have done is a plot. He did not kill them, like in the movies, like a Rambo, or like a Terminator, but he devised a plot that eventually all of them died. They're no longer alive since long ago. This was a plot. It was and it was devised. It took years. It wasn't done in a day. And they were considered very, very bad people and hated by everybody. But of course, this is kind of like, again, some people understood it. But it should be said, they were just instruments, very poor instruments. Not just instrument for actually procuring the material, which was at the time the young titans, females, that were needed for the intelligence services, because mostly they wanted companions, and although they use them as spies, but mostly they just want people to be their companion, like fake wife or wife, however it's from your point of view. I consider it fake wife. I do not consider such a marriage as marriage at all. But it's a matter of point of view. And many of my listeners are currently married in such marriages. And to say my inclination and my point of view is that this is not marriage of any kind at all. It's a charade. Even if they are married for 70 years, they still not married. I do not consider it marriage. But anyway, yes, they wanted what they wanted, but they also wanted the tea. And they also used the big knights as scapegoats. People to say, they are the evil. They brought you here. They kidnapped you. They did all those stuff to you, and But if you are here already, so we try to give you the best kind of life you can, and in our world, it's kind of like a young female, is better. Mostly, it's like not necessarily, but it's much better for her. Statistically speaking, to be married, because this is how it is in our world. But you can't have sex because of the sexual mismatch. So we give you, you know, we are so kind, just to give you the opportunity to get married to, I mean, people that are part of our society that, I mean, will not want to have sex with you. So, I mean, and will not like be, so they don't mind, I mean, like, you know, marrying you even though you are not like, you know, a sexual candidate. I mean, but they still, I mean, these people, I mean, with all their good heart and nature, I mean, they're going to do this tzedakah, you know, tzedakah, and, you know, marry people like you, and they are fine with like not having sex at all. But other than that, it will be like a marriage, and you will be, you know, integrated in our society. So I mean, so that's the best thing we can do for you after these monsters, you know, the Black Knight kidnapped you from your land in such a brutal way. And many of the Titan females, actually, many of them, I mean, probably most of them, I mean, this kind of like, you know, unbelievably sinister and, you know, satanic, you know, version of, you know, reality, actually they receive that, they believe that. I mean, what does it even mean to believe? You need to, I mean, I came to understand, I mean, out of my own experience that, I mean, people believe, I mean, you know, if people have no, I mean, people believe, you know, power. I mean, power is more, this is to Titans and Homo sapiens at the same time. I mean, they believe, you know, things that not necessarily make sense, but I mean, they come from the mouths of people that have power over them. So they believe it. I mean, yes, I mean, this is a satanic version of reality, and it's so cruel and you know, disgusting. I mean, any person that is, you know, in his right mind or in her right mind would understand that this is kind of like, this is Satan words, and I mean, and it doesn't make sense. I mean, it's obviously wrong. I mean, but I mean, they believe that because they needed, I mean, it was much better for them, I mean, to believe the Titans, females of the time, to believe that, I mean, that the people around them, and they didn't have like an option like to stop such marriages, or no, to I don't know, to kind of to expose their true reality. I mean, because they lived in secret. I mean, they were not allowed to speak, just like now. This is not that different from now. But I mean, they didn't have much. They had much less options than now, because of all sorts of things I discussed in other videos. In that time, the Titan females were much more subjugated than in our time. Should be said. It's not the same. It's not the same time. It's not the same era. I mean, I speak about between the 40s and the 70s of the 20th century. So I mean, they were surrounded by people that all belonged to the intelligence service, like today, and they didn't have any option. And like, I mean, and so I mean, and they never saw that, you know, they never met the Black Knights after, you know, the initial like, you know, the initial, I would say, kidnapping. So it was much more comfortable to them to place all the guilt and all, you know, the bad feelings and all, you know, all the shame and all the sorrow, like to put them to places on the people that they never see than on the people that are all around them. I mean, because it's much easier to live like that. To think, yes, the people around me, they're okay, they're nice. I mean, they've done me a favor, and you know, now, like, I mean, and this monster, I mean, he is like, you know, to be blamed for like for the existence that were not nice because of all sorts of reasons, but above all because, I mean, she did not have sex life. They still don't. I mean, this is not different. This fact is not that different than now. I mean, they don't have sex life, and they, but in the past it was worse than that. It was not worse than, you know, they wouldn't. It wasn't just, you know, the sexual, you know, issue, but it was actually much worse than that in the past. But it's still, I mean, you know, sex is just as, you know, it's not just, it's important, but you know, it's everything that, you know, what I call, you know, family, and, you know, standard family with, you know, real marriage, you know, all the things that, I mean, as I see is natural, you know, both for Titans and Homo sapiens. They didn't have it, they still don't have it, but I mean, and they didn't like the fact that they don't have it, but I mean, it was easier for them to blame like some kind of a distant figure that, I mean, they never meet. But these people were, I mean, should be said, they were poor. They were not like a high-ranking people like in the Israeli intelligence. Never, no. They were, I mean, filthy instruments, poor, like, you know, and like society kicked them and tortured them, and it wasn't just true when they were young, like, and were conditioned to be homosexuals and pedophiles. This kind of a conditioning and abuse was, I mean, their day-to-day life, even as adults. That was their life, to be, you know, the punching bags of Israeli intelligence. Many people like that exist in our day. I mean, I know how it feels to be that person, okay? Not exactly like them, but in general, I have a very good idea, like, I mean, what it means to be like a punching bag of the Israeli intelligence. And many people are like that. Mostly in the Palestinian Authority, of course, but also in Israel quite a bit. I mean, both Jews and Arabs. I mean, it's not a new thing. And this is a life of torture. It's a life of torture, and they didn't get no money for it at all. I mean, this is, they left it. I mean, all of that could be deduced just, I mean, by, you know, just thinking, and many of my of my listeners just, I mean, understood it already. I understand from the comment, and quite a bit of, like, the audience that didn't even need me to say what I say, and that's just understood by themselves, because you just need a little bit of brain to understand it, everything that I just said. I mean, but I can tell you that, I mean, that's the way it was, and I mean, I elaborate on this issue in the Bicycle to One saga, so I don't want to repeat myself, because there's still much to be said on the matter, but almost all of what I have had to say have already been recorded, so I don't want to just, I mean, you know, do, like, you know, repeats and repeats of the same thing. So just, I mean, listen to the old recordings, because like more on the subject is, you know, mentioned in these old recordings.